Now we will hear from Mr. Mark Hogg.
Thank you, Your Royal Highness, Princess Dr. Nasreen El Hashemite, for your dream and vision today. And thank you for your sister-in-arms activity, Dr. Helena Dali. It's great to be here today. It's quite an honor. And thank you, Ms. Dogan, and the rest of you. I'm excited to be here. I'm quite honored to be in a place among these strong women. These amazing talent that surrounds us today, who have this deep passion and conviction. And what we're finding out, everybody's got some pretty darn great good stories, too. It is great to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe with all my heart that the world will be different because of this gathering today. We will wake up tomorrow and things will be different. And that is a world that I'm excited to wake up into tomorrow, and I hope you will be too. At the nonprofit NGO WaterStep, women and girls from all backgrounds, and yes, even women of science, have been a very important part of our efforts, developing, manufacturing, using, and distributing life-saving tools and training to save lives with safe water, sanitation, well repair, and health in the developing world and in disasters. Simply put, water is life. But we also know that access to safe water is the greatest problem in the world. So it seems, as a simple science equation, that water would be the greatest gift anyone could give to anyone else in the world if that's the case. At WaterStep, over the years, we've watched incredible stories unfold as women have been empowered. And further, they have even inspired peace, because sustainable, safe water transcends cultural, religious, and gender divisions. Around the world, gathering water is traditionally women's work. Most women travel an average of 6 hours a day. They haul water to their families. Most of the time, the families get contaminated water from the woman. It keeps her and her family and her community sick. And further, she sacrifices her own education, her health, and her safety and hope in this life. So, what if all of these women working today to gather water for their families and their communities could be women and girls of science and provide safe water? What if? No matter their education, no matter their background, no matter their age, no matter where they live, what if there were a simple, sustainable, affordable science available to them that put the power to save lives right in their hands? Now imagine, what if that could use simply a 12-volt battery and some salt? And then they could teach other women and girls how to manufacture safe water and even manufacture disinfection for medical use to save lives in their communities. What if? What if that could happen? Well, I think the proper dictionary term for that would be catalyst. They would be a catalyst of transformation. And every year at WaterStep, we see hundreds of women and girls find hope and confidence in new lives with water. After the 2010 earthquake disaster in Haiti, 17-year-old Fabiola became a woman of science as she was put in charge of manufacturing safe water for her rural community of 2,000 people. While attending a university in Nairobi, social worker Beatrice, she was there, she was a woman of three, a mama of three, and she became a woman of science because she visited a school in a slum. She taught school leaders in children health and science and education and hygiene, how to set up and operate a water purification system, install new latrines, and build hand washing stations. And then the school sold water in a kiosk in the slum to make money. Now, Janet lives in Texas. She lives in the United States, and often she travels to Haiti to help folks out there. Now, during the cholera outbreak last year, she taught Haitian women to be women of science. And she taught them how to make bleach and fight back the disease. In Ecuador, Rosalinda After the earthquake in 2016, Rosalinda worked with teams to set up safe water access point in the refugee camps with the displaced people after the earthquake. Today, she travels around Ecuador with water purification and disinfection equipment, teaching men and women in communities to transform their communities, their clinics, and their schools. Now listen to Linda's story. Linda's a medical student in the United States, and she goes on every single international medical mission trip she can find. She loves to help people, but early on, she became disillusioned with these medical trips. Why is that? Because the work they did in the medical clinic didn't last because nobody did anything about the water issues in those communities. And so today, water purification and disinfection machines are the first thing she packs when she travels, and that makes an exponential difference in every single thing she does. Now, what about Lucy? Well, Lucy's only 12 years old. Lucy lives in Chicago. Years ago, as a child, Lucy became a pen pal email friend with her buddy Faith in Uganda. Well, they shared stories all the time, and Faith eventually told Lucy that she was sick a lot. The folks in her community were sick often, and it was because of the water. Well, Lucy got pretty upset about that because she loved Faith. So she started to research, this child started to research things that might be able to help Lucy in her community. She told her parents about that. So last year, Lucy figured she had to go teach Faith what she'd learned. So she and her parents went to Uganda, and Lucy took water purification, disinfection equipment, and she taught Faith, who today, Faith helps keep her community healthy with that equipment. These two young ladies are women of science. Chris is an engineer, lives in Louisville, Kentucky. She's a mother of two young girls, single mama. She ain't got a lot of time. But she wants to save lives with safe water, and one day a week, she shows up to the WaterStep office, and with her limited time, she builds powerful water purification equipment that goes all over the world and saves lives. My friend, Dr. Cindy Figueroa, is a professor of science, and recently, just after Hurricane Maria, she tore through Puerto Rico. She embraced a simple technology for water and sanitation that she knew was critical to respond to the disaster because access to safe water was the worst problem they had. It still is, no matter what the media you hear says. And so she used these tools to make a difference. Imagine women in a disaster, for example. A woman thrown into a disaster has got an incredible amount of stress on her on top of just being a woman to take care of her family. Because now she feels even more helpless because she's got to wait for somebody to come help her out. She's got to wait for somebody to come bring safe water to her. And the problem with that is the water that they bring her is difficult to manage, it's expensive, and there ain't never enough. I'm sorry, I'm from the South. I meant there's not ever enough. There's not ever enough water because you think in a disaster all you need is drinking water. Well, these folks have been in this disaster for 4 months. What am I going to bathe my children in? What am I going to cook with? What other uses do I have with water? What if this lady could make as much water as she needs without the trash that bottled water produces and without the pain of trying to get bottled water? If I've not made my point yet, let me say this. What if women or girls anywhere in the world, what if women or girls in a disaster could be simply made women of science? And I believe that that's a great vision that you all are doing today. I believe this science moves the needle for any woman or girl, and you don't have to wait for anyone else from the outside to help out. They have respect, they have confidence, they are role models, and that it is the greatest gift of life that they could give to others. Thanks for letting me be here. It's an honor.